Hey guys, what's up? And it is around 2 years since I did the last self-authoring suite, and it is the most requested video that I do on my channel. So I thought there is no better time than now to actually go ahead and do this video, even though it's not quite 2 years. So what's changed? What's different? What are the things I've developed in? How have I developed as a person? What are the ways in which my career has developed? What are the ways in which my health has improved and my relationships with people have improved? And all these sort of questions that I'm going to go over in this sort of review. And I just want to start off with a caveat to say that I don't think you should take some of these insights to my life as gospel and to the program, because it's not as if I'm some really successful artist and why should you listen to me? There's an element of that. I suppose what I'm just trying to offer you is an honest portrayal of my journey so far. And I think that is very helpful in the sense that I'm not trying to sugarcoat my experience in any way, so as to say, well, now everything is great, because I don't think that's ever true for anyone. I'm going to try go over the many facets to my life and one's life and how things have changed as opposed to improved. Because at times, I still have moments of self-doubt, and I still have very sad moments, obviously. I think that's part of the human experience anyways. But I do know, one thing that I do definitely know is that this level of frustration that I used to have, I just don't have that high level of frustration any longer in terms of my creative work, terms of my career as an artist, which I suppose that was, in hindsight, the number one thing that was disappointing me in my life. And I said it to a friend of mine the other day when we were having a conversation, that one of my biggest fears and one of her biggest fears was that this unfulfilled potential not being fulfilled, or this potential that we know we have inside that isn't getting a platform to express itself on. And I guess that was probably one of the biggest disappointments of my early 20s, mid 20s, And so now my perspective on that, due to the self-authoring suite, has changed a lot. And how I think that's changed a lot is because of the attention I've paid to my future goals. Even though these future goals I've set for myself are, one might call them arbitrary. If you read the list, you might think, well, that's absurd, Fergus. You're probably not going to achieve these things in an entire lifetime. They're very ambitious. And if I spoke them out loud, I'd almost feel maybe embarrassed about them. And someone who would listen to them might go, come on, Fergus, that's a bit unrealistic. But even though these goals I've set for myself, and while some of them actually have come true in some facet, and what I noticed with these future goals that I've set myself is that they're kind of coming true. And there's something in that, a part of an element of that goal has kind of come true. You're like, okay, that isn't exactly what I wanted, but yeah, I'm kind of getting that thing, or I'm kind of on the path to that thing. I'm not there, but so that level of goal setting, while it may feel like, and I think for a lot of people, because when I think about, when I talk about what's your future goals with people, when you're in a conversation with someone like, what's this New Year's resolution, or what's your 5-year plan, and like, what I find is a lot of people actually can't pinpoint exactly what the thing is. And so what I'm saying is, I think a part of the frustration with the disappointments of, uh, a, a successful creative life as an artist is that the goals aren't clear enough. And so they're wishing upon a dream, but they don't know exactly what that dream looks like. And I suppose what I'm saying here is the Future Authoring Suite showed me a way of thinking about the future that I actually was unaware of before. And so since the Future Authoring Suite, I have made it a practice of mine to be thinking of the future and planning for the future a lot more than I had, and making time for that. I suppose the anxiety I had before doing the self-authoring suite was, I just need to keep working. I'll just keep working really hard, and there's a disappointment in that, because you're working really hard for what, and time needs to be given to what the future looks like, so you can start to go down a path that you go, okay, this kind of feels familiar to what I set out to do. And that does alleviate this existential kind of frustration. So the practice that I've been doing is keeping a daily journal, which I had been doing before I did the self-authoring suite, and but keeping that and refining that more and more, and scheduling out my time very specifically. Because what I realize now, for me, and maybe some other artists find it different, but because you're an artist and you're in an open state of mind, that I need a rigid schedule to maneuver within, so I can actually allow myself to be really open, to search, give myself time for those ideas. But it has to be, there's an irony in that. The rigid schedule actually allows me and gives me a space to think in a very open way and express myself in a very open way. So I've spent a huge amount of time over the last 2 years actually scheduling myself, timetabling myself for almost everything I do, by the hours, and especially working on the weekly diary. What exactly am I doing each day? And planning that out on a Sunday and letting it run through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I try to review what are the things that I actually got done this week, in some of the ideas that I wanted to pursue. Or it's not like I just started this weekly journal and observations and timing tabling and straight out the gate I was doing everything I said I was going to do. It's really taken a long time for me to sort of get the schedule and follow it, especially as an artist, because one can get an idea and then you're down a totally different path than you thought you were. But it's like you set this rigid weekly structure so that you can go, okay, I'm going to go down this crazy path that I'm thinking of now, or this path I'm really intrigued about. But I know by tomorrow, when this, the fuel has ran out on this idea, I can come back to the weekly schedule and take off where I left off. So for me, keeping this weekly journal in tandem with looking ahead to 3 years' time, 5 years' time, and refining that, these two things have been really helpful for me from keeping my anxiety down and my frustration down. Because I'd oftentimes see myself played back on video, or even in acting performances, where I just look really frustrated, and the energy is one of kind of pushing things away. It's a self-absorption that I noticed in myself that I didn't really like, and I don't really want to have that self-absorption when I'm around other people. and when I'm working with other people in a creative sense, I want to be able to give myself over to the process. I want to give myself over to anything and not have this frustrated self-absorption, which leads me on to some other ideas about empathy and empathy for other people, and the self-authoring suite in tandem with Jordan Peterson's ideas, about other people's life and their suffering, and spending the time to notice other people's lives and seeing how much they suffer outside of myself pulls me out of my own self-absorption and narcissism. And I've been slowly opening my empathy up for other people, and that empathy that I've opened up has allowed me to go, Jesus, I really do have it quite good, even though there are disappointments in my life for sure. There are things that I'm not happy with, that I wish were better, that I wish I was more fulfilled in. But I can look back and go, and I can look to other people and really feel for them and go, God, I have it great. And that has helped me develop a gratitude for my own life and the lives of people around me, is to see the difficulty for other people, especially older people who haven't followed this innate thing. I think we all have this innate thing inside where it tells us to follow this path, and Robert Greene calls it one's life's task. If one doesn't follow one's life's task, there's a great sadness that fall on those people who didn't follow the thing that they should have followed. And I have a deep sympathy and empathy for those people, because it must be tough, especially when you're in your 30s and 40s and 50s. But I have the gratitude that I'm actually following the thing. I'm doing the thing I'm meant to be doing. And even though I'm not a successful artist, I'm not a really successful actor, that I'm following and I'm doing the thing and I'm pursuing the thing that I was always meant to pursue. And that's something to be very grateful for, because a lot of people never find that thing, And I feel for those people, Where was I? I've lost where I was now. There's some part of me that's relieved to say that, I am not yet a successful artist. I am not yet a successful actor, I suppose. And there's a great feeling in that, to meet yourself exactly where you're at, with your craft, and not to lie to yourself and go, okay, I'm pursuing the thing and I'm working on the craft and I'm getting better at this and that and the other. And actually it makes me, when I appreciate my own smallness in the scheme of things, it allows me to appreciate the creative work even more, and for it to be a sort of pseudo spiritual thing. And as well as that, talking about the frustration area, it keeps the frustration levels low, because I can simply enjoy the process and the journey of being a creative person. And I suppose that has helped me quite a bit, being honest with where I'm at. Although I've had some close calls this year, some really close calls on some really big TV shows, down to the last three, for like 3 different TV shows. I won't mention what they are, I suppose. And they would have completely changed my life. And I guess I've had to deal with those disappointments as well. Just knowing that maybe if I tried or did something different in those auditions, that I would have got it further down the line at this point. But that didn't happen. And I suppose that's going to happen more again at some stage. There's going to be other successes down the path, and to sort of believe in that, even though they're not here right now. I'm still, while I've just finished a short film there, which I'm pretty happy with, I'm still waiting for the job currently. It's having a more balanced perspective to those disappointments, I suppose, and inevitable disappointments in this creative career that I've chosen, and not to get so bogged down by it. I think one of the takeaway points, not really much huge success has changed for me from the self-authoring suites, but I'm definitely more content within. I've also been working as a videographer now, which is crazy because I haven't been doing filmmaking for, sort of less than 2 years. But I think it is a testament to how much I work and how much the work pays off. Unfortunately, it won't pay off in the direct area I'm trying to work in, but it's keeping the wolf from the door, and I suppose I should be very grateful for that. So in closing, how do I close this video? I think that in another year's time, or 2 years after that, I'll see again the real benefits of this program. But I still think that I'm too early into it to really give you a review that's got so much depth in it, because I still haven't got enough distance from it in the sense that I can fully comprehend its depth, because it's taking so long to have an effect. You can watch a lot of videos on YouTube about sort of motivation, and I don't think one should ever trust that, because it's a quick hit of dopamine, and a part of you knows that this isn't really helping, and things are more complex than, just get out there and fucking work harder than ever. Things are really complex, and so I feel like this program is more complex than I can sort of comprehend even 2 years later. I think that's a very romantic way of putting it, but it's kind of beautiful in that way, that it grows over time, that it sculpts you over time. If that's what this program can do, is give you more of a window in what's important to you as the individual, then it's obviously worth doing, and it's obviously worth the time it takes to do this program, and it's also worth thinking about as much as one can with a busy life. So I hope you found this interesting, and I hope the insights I've gleaned from this serve you, as has my other videos, and reading the comments to those videos has warmed my heart. Really, it has. It's brought a positivity out of me. Sometimes I don't think I have. And thank you very much for watching these videos, and hopefully I'll do another video like this some stage soon. Hopefully it's not as straight to the camera as these ones, and there's something else more interesting going on. But until then, I hope you enjoy my other content, which I know isn't talking head videos. There's more short films and other art projects, and if you like those, always do drop me a comment, let me know, and always makes me feel good. So thanks for your time, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.